The purpose of Halloween candy consumption. The purpose of Halloween candy consumption. It's difficult to recall a time before Halloween when the main goal was to eat as much candy as you could. Candy wasn't actually first distributed on Halloween until very recently. It wasn't always Halloween, and people didn't always dress up and go trick-or-treating. Over 1,000 years ago, Celtic pagans in Ireland and Scotland held a 3-day, 3-night holiday called Samhain. Samhain wasn't exempt from this treatment when Christianity was imposed on the Celts in Ireland and Scotland. Many of their festivities were changed to conform to the Christian image. All Hallows Eve changed became Halloween, then becoming Halloween throughout this time. So, at the turn of the 20th century, Halloween was finally celebrated widely in the US. Even while grown-ups would host parties and teenagers would go around pulling practical jokes, sweets was never connected to Halloween at all. By this time, candy was even available, but Halloween was more about seasonal meals and sweets like pumpkin pies or candy apples. In the US, trick-or-treating didn't truly take off until the 1930s, but even then, there was no candy involved. Children in the area would make their way to homes for little goodies like fruits, nuts, baked goods, or tiny coins. It's understandable why bored youngsters would play pranks more frequently back then, since the rewards were not sufficient to persuade them otherwise. You may counter that candy apples are candy and that Halloween has always contained sweets, but try persuading a child of that. Nevertheless, candy had been consumed in the US since the 18th century, so it's not as if people weren't enjoying it as part of their Halloween celebrations. Simply said, the candy manufacturers hadn't considered it yet. This great American tradition, like many others, wasn't founded without corporate meddling. By this time, candy companies had succeeded in persuading consumers to purchase candy boxes for Christmas and to eat chocolate Easter eggs rather than decorate hard-boiled eggs. It wasn't until the 1950s that candy manufacturers began producing bite-sized versions of their well-liked confections. The new goodies were convenient, didn't need to be prepared, and prevented bad youngsters from egging houses, which made suburban women very happy. By the 1970s, giving non-candy treats to trick-or-treaters was pretty well unacceptable, and doing so was almost always met with a cunning prank. Why do we consume candy on Halloween then? Also to blame are corporate America, rebellious teenagers, and disinterested suburban moms. It's a little bit of everything, but the main reason is that non-candy treats evolved into a very pitiful replacement as times changed. Whatever the cause, we have a hunch that Halloween candy consumption will continue. Big